So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to this YouTube channel. In this episode, I'm still with Mercy Atieno Onyango.
Oh! I didn't know you know all my three names.
Yeah,
that's nice.
I follow you. I like your stories.
Thank you.
So, I know your names.
Thank you. After I locked him up in a cage, he was so angry at me. He fucked me so bad, like with a lot of, like, bitch, you're a fucking bitch. And those people in Hollywood, they take Viagra.
Yeah.
They get hard. They don't come.
Violently.
So violently. Like it's not even fun. Hey.
Like he was punishing you.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. He was punishing me. He didn't even come because when they take Viagra, they can do it for hours and hours and hours without coming. Then he's like, what's wrong with you? You're not having sex. What's wrong with you? Why are you so small? All those kinds of things. Shouting, screaming. They say, get in the car. He drives these big cars like the president of Africa's drive. Yeah. These big cars. Get in the car. I got in the car. I was just like shaking, like I didn't have any other option. Like, okay, I know I found myself in that situation or I agreed to come there, but I didn't know where I was going to. Yeah. I don't know if to say I was too young, too naive. I don't know if I should say whatever. It is what it is. He got me in the car and all I could think is I just want to get back to where I live. Yeah. And then he was making fun of me like, hey, maybe I could marry you. Huh? I don't think you can make videos because you are too scared of dogs. It's like the videos he makes is specifically for dogs. Yeah. So he said, I think you're too scared. What I want to do is marry you. Maybe if I marry you, the government will give me my children back. You know, the government took my children away because of the nature of the job that I do. Okay. I got home and I searched this company because I had mastered the name. I searched the company on Google. I found the man. I saw that they had a scandal where everybody got HIV in this company. Now I was thinking I have HIV. Oh my gosh. You know the panic that I went through? Yeah. Hey, I went to test the next day. Obviously, it wouldn't show the next day if I was. Yeah. I began, I don't know, went to the pharmacy to take drugs, whatever. I can only say God protected me because after that I tested and tested and tested like every month for 6 months, for 1 year, and there was nothing. Yeah. So I think just God's hand was on me. You know, these experiences were very traumatic for a young girl. Yeah. At one point now I quit dancing and I moved to Las Vegas. Las Vegas, Nevada is the state where they say everything that happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. So I drove to Vegas with my friend from Ireland. His name was Maggie. Maggie was my friend. She was from Ireland. And we drove in her car from Los Angeles to Las Vegas. It took about 4 hours. 4 hours drive. When we got to Vegas, we parked at the Bellagio Hotel. Oh my gosh. Las Vegas is so beautiful. And if you are in America, I would encourage you to at least go see Las Vegas. The moment we arrived in Las Vegas, I was told that dancers there, they make, you know, now they have a lot of football players, a lot of celebrities, and they go to the clubs to watch strip dancers. So they said, in Las Vegas, you can even make $2,000 per day. I was like, whoa, $2,000 a day. $2,000 a day. In Las Vegas is where I met this black man named Jay and the white man named Richie. Yeah. They were having like a very long black limousine. And you know, I had never gotten in a limousine in my life before. So when they said, free limousine to the strip club, I was like, yes, that's what I'm talking about. You know, I was not a drunkard and I was not on drugs. And I was like this. Now, can you imagine what would have happened if I was on drugs? It could have been like worse. Yeah. So I said, oh, now I get in the limo and I also go look for a job in the strip club. That is a double win. We quickly got in the limousine. The limousine was so nice. My first time inside there.
And by the way, dear viewers, Mercy has written a book. She has written a book. She has a lot of stories, but can you talk about this book?
Yeah, this book is American Dreamer. And all the stories that I am telling you are in this book. The only difference is that this book is way more detailed. It goes way deeper than the talking on camera, because you cannot talk on camera the whole day, the whole night.
No.
So the book just goes deeper than the stories I'm telling you. So if you're asking yourself, what happened after that? What happened? What happened? Then you can buy the book.
We are not going to talk about everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you want a full story, if you enjoyed her story, where can they find the book?
So you can buy this book on Amazon.com. It is in Amazon Germany, Amazon UK, Amazon USA, Amazon Australia. And also if you are in Kenya, you can buy from Nuria Bookstore, or you can buy directly from my website, marciatis.com.
Yeah.
Yes.
So for those who want to know exactly what happened, how life in America looks like, for a young girl like Mercy, who was, moving from a state to another, I think you can buy this book. Then you will get to know each and everything of her life, until she's going to tell us how she was reported, but definitely not everything in this video. But everything is in the book.
Yes.
So continue.
When I met Jay and Richie, I had no idea that Jay was a pimp. A pimp is a man who sells girls. And the girls sleep with other men, and this pimp gets paid. So his job is to protect you and to provide what you need. Like for instance, they will provide for you a place to live and food and what to wear. And they will sell you on the streets, and they get paid the money. So
They'll pay you?
Sometimes a little bit, but most of the time the money goes to them. Most of the money.
So what about you?
You get accommodation.
Only that?
You get accommodation, you get food. Clothes.
Only that?
Yeah, maybe very small amount of money.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe 10 or 20%.
All right.
Yeah.
Maybe the tips also from men.
Yes, if the men give you a tip, that is what you get.
All right.
So when I met Jay, I had no idea he was a pimp, and Richie was a pimp also, because they were hiding under the cover of limousine drivers.
Oh.
Yes. So as Jay was driving me to the strip club, he told me that he picks up a lot of men from the airport. You know, Las Vegas is a tourist destination for many people from all around the world. And he told me that when he picks up these men from the airport, they always ask for women to spend time with while they're in Las Vegas. And he said it was very easy for him to get the women, except for the men who were asking for dark-skinned black women. So he said he could get white girls, he could get Asian girls, he could get Hispanic girls easily. He could get light-skinned blacks. But there are some men who just say, I want a very dark-skinned black girl. And that was a very challenging job for him. And he said, if you can just work for me, I have men who can even pay $5,000.
And the moment you hear more money.
$5, more money, more. So he asked me if I was interested. I was, of course I'm interested. Yeah, I am interested. But remember, even though I had been a strip dancer, I had never been a prostitute in my life before. I had never slept with multiple men before.
Yeah.
So I was just saying yes because I was hearing the money, but I didn't really know what it entailed.
Yeah.
I know so many people are thinking, oh girl, you are so stupid. What the heck is wrong with you? Okay, well, it was what it was. You know, sometimes it is what it is. And many people go through what I go through. The only difference is that nobody talks about it.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah.
People prefer to keep these stories to themselves. But now the problem is that if we all are holy, we are all good, then who will teach the younger generation?
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah.
So these stories are not like strange or they are not uncommon. They happen every day.
Yeah.
But people just...
They happen to so many people.
They happen to so many people, but people just... In Swahili we say wanakanyagia chini. Like
Yeah.
you just put it underground. You
Yeah.
don't talk about it. So I am decided to talk about it to teach others who want to learn.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I said, oh yes, I want to go work with Jay and Richie. So Maggie drove with me to Jay's house, and she wanted to make sure that I'm safe. Mm-hmm. She wanted to go and take Jay's home address, so that in case anything happens to me, he can be held responsible. Mm-hmm. And Jay was very fine with that. I later learned that Jay was an African man, but was born in Europe, somewhere in Europe, yes. So he was now living in America, driving limousine and pimping the girls. So as soon as I relocated to Jay's house, I noticed that he had a 2-bedroom apartment in Las Vegas, very close to the strip. There's the Vegas Strip. And also I noticed that he had 1 bedroom that was full of women clothing.
One of his bedrooms?
Yes.
Okay.
Women clothes, high heels, perfumes, all kinds of stuff for women.
Okay.
But he wasn't living with any woman at all.
Okay.
And the clothes were different women of different sizes.
What was he doing with the clothes?
Oh, he was pimping the girls.
Oh.
So it is like when Jay takes you, he has to dress you the way he wants.
Provide the clothes.
Yes.
You should dress the way he wants.
Yes.
Okay.
So for instance, when I went to his house, he told me that we are not going to go with braids. We are going to go with my real hair. He said the real men that are very wealthy, they love simplicity. Mm. And he said, we're going to take off the braids. We're going to blow dry your real hair. We're going to put it into a ponytail. We're going to wear a simple dress that is not too short. Mm-hmm. And he said the men that have a lot of money, they don't like to associate with the naked girls. Oh. So he said if you're wearing something very short and you look like an obvious prostitute, then you will only attract $200 per shot. Okay. And he said if you really, really, really want to make big money, you have to look normal, like a normal woman. Yeah. So that is what he was trying to do. He said if it is cold, you wear a jacket. So he put on me a dress almost to the knee length and a very long winter coat and some high heels, my head in a ponytail, and he sprayed on me like a very good smelling perfume. Mm-hmm. It's called Love Spell from Victoria's Secrets. Yeah. After he did that perfume, he took me to the strip where he was going to show me the orientation. He was walking me around Vegas Strip and showing me, do you see that girl? You see that girl? She's a prostitute. Can you know? No. You see the car she's driving? That is the kind of car I wanted to drive. You see that one? You see how she's looking? She looks cheap, doesn't she? That one gets only 100 bucks, 200 bucks. You see that girl? So we were walking around the strip. He was teaching me. And he was teaching me that, you know, if you are a woman and you really want to make money, you also have to read and know what is going on in the world. Because these very wealthy men, they want to be able to hold a conversation with you. They want to
someone who is updated.
Yes, yes,
and
yes.
Who is informed.
Yes, yes. Okay. Because if they start a topic and you cannot hold a conversation, it is a turn-off. And that is the end of it. They cannot have a good time with you. Okay. So I have to read, I have to know what is going on in the news. I have to know what is going on in the sports world. I have to know what is going on in the entertainment world, the celebrity world, even the stock market. Like I have to read a bunch of topics to be able to have a conversation with the very wealthy men in Las Vegas. So he did for me the orientation, told me now you get here, you sit in a place like this, you give them a direct eye contact like this, and then you smile. And he said once you have the direct contact of the eye and you smile, the man will talk and approach you if he is interested. However, if you do direct eye contact and you smile and nothing happens, just leave it at that. You are not supposed to approach them, okay? Yes. The best you can say is hi. Don't ever go beyond hi. Once you smile, they know what to do next. So, you see, you can sit here, you can sit here. We walked around Las Vegas the whole day. Eventually, it was time to go to work because we were not going to do orientation forever.
Yeah.
He asked, "Are you ready for work?" I was like, "I'm ready, Jay." I am ready to work. So he told me today is the first night, so I'm going to help you to find the clients. But tomorrow you got to find your own clients. So he posted me at Paris Hotel, and he told me to be very watchful of my phone. If he calls me, I should answer the phone as soon as possible because it means he has clients.
Yeah.
I got in Paris Hotel, there was a live concert going on. I started dancing. I got lost in the music. I forgot I was there to sell my body. So Jay was calling. I was busy dancing.
You couldn't hear the phone. You couldn't hear the phone.
I couldn't hear the phone because I was lost in the music, because I love music.
Yeah.
Hey, before I knew it, he was there. He had changed his colors from blue to red. From frying pan to fire.
Yeah.
Mercy, what are you doing? I was like, what? I've been calling you. You just missed a client that is going to pay me $5,000. I was like, Jay, I'm so sorry. Don't tell me you're sorry. You're sorry, my ass. You're sorry, my butt. He's yelling, he's screaming.
Yeah.
I am so mad at you. I said, I'm so sorry, I didn't hear the phone ringing. What do you think, you're here to dance? Eventually, he accepted my apologies. He told me to go back to Paris Hotel and wait. I went back there. In just like 2 minutes, he was calling again. He had another client. This time I picked up the phone. I rushed outside. I met my first client. They were 2 white men from Chicago. Young, maybe I can say early 30s. 28, 29, 30, 31 there. The moment they saw me, they said, wow, you're so beautiful. And wow, you smell so good. And then they were like, I said, thank you. And they were like, damn, where's your accent from?
Yeah.
I was like, I'm from Kenya. Whoa, the land of the runners, athletes, the marathoners. So one man held me on this side, another man held me on this side. Now I'm walking with these 2 guys.
Yeah.
And we are heading to, I don't know where, to their hotel. So they are complimenting me, they are telling me all kinds of things, you know, sweet words. They told me they want to have sex with me at the same time. Like both of them at the same time. I was like, no, not gonna happen. We argued back and forth.
Yeah.
Before we could do anything, Jay was already calling. And he was now like ready to shoot me dead.
Why?
Where's the money? He was asking the guys, where is the money? They were like, we didn't do anything. Oh. What do you mean you didn't do anything, Mercy? You're supposed to go in, get out. No discussion, no topic, nothing. That was the end of that night. And as I continued with Jay, is more detailed on my book.
Yeah. So tell us, Mercy, how did you end up in prison in the United States, and what was the reason?
Okay, so after I left Las Vegas, I went back to LA, and I was a volunteer for President Barack Obama campaign. That was the time I was living in LA now, before ending up in prison. And I was a full-time volunteer for the campaign. And during the time that President Obama was campaigning for the first election, my father passed away in Kenya.
Yeah.
So when my father died in Kenya, I was not able to come home because I was out of status. My student visa had already expired. And if I came back to Kenya for his funeral, it meant that I could not go back again to America.
Yeah.
Despite all the challenges that I was facing in the US, the homelessness, doing things that are against my values and morals, America was still a better option for me personally, because there was absolutely nothing for me to come home to. Plus, I hated Kenya because of everything I had gone through with the polygamous family, the death of my mother, now the death of my father, the death of my brother. I just didn't feel that connection to come home at the time.
Yeah.
So I asked my family to please record for me a video of my father's funeral. And I sent money home, about $1,000 US. And my brother was able to buy a camera and record a video. And a lot of money also helped with the funeral. Now, we Africans, we have several beliefs. According to what I had, my name was mentioned a lot. At
the funeral?
At the funeral.
Yeah.
And I was being praised a lot for everything I had done at my father's funeral. And after my name was mentioned a lot, after my father's burial, my mother came to me in a dream. My mother had died even before I went to America.
Yeah.
And I had never dreamt about her. Now, after my father's funeral, my mother came to me in a dream. And in the dream, she told me to leave that place where I was going to. Now, here I was conflicting between tradition and religion.
Yeah.
Because in my religion, I'm told that dead people, they don't know anything, they cannot see, they don't know. So at that time, I said my mother died a long time ago and there's no way she's telling me to leave the shelter and I'm leaving.
Yeah.
That is like I'm crazy. So my mother came to me again in the second dream. And she told me, you need to leave this place, and if you don't leave this place, you're going to end up in prison. And she actually showed me a prison.
That was the homeless
At the homeless shelter. I'm still there, yes. So my mother actually showed me a prison. And she said, if you don't leave this place, you're going to end up in prison. And that day, I was very disturbed by the dream because it was so clear, like day and night. And then I was like, how can I end up in prison? I'm not a criminal.
Yeah.
Why is she telling me to leave? She already dead. How can she see what is happening? So for the second time, I ignored. And the third time, my mother came again. The same thing. So I just want to tell my viewers that whether you're a Christian or you're not a Christian, you know, I believe that dead people can see now after the experience that I had. Yeah. Especially if the same dream keep repeating itself the same exact way. She came again for the third time and she warned me, I'm telling you, get out of here. And I ignored again. And then I remember one day, now after Barack Obama had become president, I attended one of his events, like a thank you event in downtown LA, Roth Center Pavilion. The event went well, and as soon as we got out, I came back to the shelter. I came back to the shelter and we used to have mailboxes in the shelter. Mailboxes where they put all our mail.
Yeah.
That day I noticed that I had mail from Kenya.
Yeah.
When I saw the mail from Kenya, my heart sank because I knew it was the video of my father's funeral. However, when I took the envelope and looked at it, it was already opened. There was nothing inside. So I was like, what is going on? Like, how did they send me an empty mail? So I took the empty envelope, and as I was walking to my room, I passed through the director's office, and I saw the director and the case manager watching a video of my father's funeral inside their office on a desktop computer.
So they had taken it out from them?
Yes, and this is illegal in America. You cannot open somebody's mail even if they're in a shelter.
Yeah.
So I was shocked that how can they even open my mail and how are they even watching my father's funeral before I see it? Like, this is my biological father.
Yeah.
When they saw me, I asked them, give me my mail. And they shut the door to my face. When they shut the door to my face, I got even more upset. Like, how can you watch my father's funeral and then close the door? So I began knocking on the door. At first, I was knocking, like excuse me, please open the door, please give me my mail, please open the door. I was knocking. Then I heard them laughing. Now the laughter is what like got me to temporary insanity.
Yeah.
It irritated me because I was like, what is so funny? Is it funny that my father died? Is it funny that they are burying him on the ground with soil? Is it funny that, like, what is so funny? Why are you laughing? So I began to bang the door more aggressively. I can say that I was on this door for at least 15 to 30 minutes. 15 to 30 minutes just banging the door, begging and pleading, just give me my mail. Like, I felt like I was being violated, like I was being stripped completely naked.
Yeah.
I felt so bad, like you can't even imagine. I know people will judge me, but it is fine. You know, for me, during that moment, my head slipped.
Yeah.
And a lot of memories were now just coming flooding. You know, now my mother's dead, my father is dead, everything was coming flooding at the same time. So when I noticed that they were not going to open the door, I went to my room and I got charcoal lighter fluid. I used to sell hot dogs, you know, in Hollywood, in the nightclubs. And I poured it on a rag, on a carpet outside the door. And the reason why I poured this was to get their attention, because my intention was just to get my father's funeral.
Yeah.
I wanted that video by all means. So I lit the carpet on fire. And the moment they smelled it, they came out and they turned it off with a hooded sweatshirt. Actually, my records can be very easily retrieved. Even if you Google my name, you know, everybody uses Google. Just Google the people versus Marcelina Tieno Nyango. You're going to find the whole case. And you're going to find a police report. And the police report is written that the fire was put off by a hooded sweatshirt. So it was not a fire that harmed anybody or that hurt anybody or any property, just a carpet was burned. So as soon as they put off the fire, I was panicking, I was crying. I was really crying. They called 911. So when the police came to arrest me, I just thought it is a matter of like, okay, I'm getting arrested. I'm going to explain that they were violating my rights, and this case will be over. So I didn't get any like emotions when I was being arrested the first time. They put handcuffs on me, on my back. They walked me to Hollywood police station. And when I got to the police station and I got locked up in a cell for the first time in my life, that is when reality hit me that I was actually in jail. And that is when now my mother's dream began
to make sense.
To make sense and to haunt me. I screamed there for hours and hours and hours. I screamed, I was crying in my language. I was like, Mama, you warned me. You told me to get out. Mama, how did you know this? I thought you were dead. I thought you couldn't see. I was crying for hours and hours and hours. And as I was crying, you know, white people, they are not used to our screaming, the way we scream in Africa when somebody dies. They would come there in the office looking through the door, like what the hell? They would look at my case and they would go like shaking their heads like this is a bad case. I was charged with arson 451B, and it is maliciously and willfully setting a fire on a residential building with intention to kill.
Oh my God.
Yes. So in America, in the law, you have to prove all the elements of a crime. So the court, they have to prove that I was maliciously, I was intentionally lighting a fire, and they have to prove that I had intention to kill people.
Yeah.
That was my charge. So the officers told me that the case was not looking good on me. And that is when I cried. Oh gosh, I cried. Like I always say that my tears can even fill up a tank. Like a water tank.
Yeah.
That is how much I cried. I refused to eat anything. I was drained, literally. So I was then transferred from Hollywood police station to Los Angeles County Jail. In LA County Jail, that is where now the case began. I went to court for the first time, and they read only that one charge. And I was given a public defender. A public defender is a lawyer who is given to you by the government.
Yeah.
So when they gave me my public defender, he was a Hispanic man. And he told me that I have to tell the court that I was high on drugs when I lit the rag on fire. I was like, high on drugs? I never did any drugs. And he said, you just have to do this so they can take you to rehabilitation. So I was imagining rehab, going to rehab. I've never been on drugs. Like, what is it? I just told him, I don't feel comfortable saying I was on drugs because I have never done drugs. I was violated. I was trying to explain to him that these people opened my father's funeral. This is the truth. They were violating my rights. But he was saying that is not going to fly. The defense is not going to fly. I have to say I was on drugs. Eventually, I raised up my hand and I told the judge that I wanted a different lawyer in court. And that is how everything got worse. Now I moved from frying pan to fire. They took away this Hispanic man.
Yeah.
And they gave me an African American man who lied to me that he's from Ghana. His name was Tracy Grayson. And when he took my case, he faked an African accent and told me, I'm from Africa like you, just tell me everything that happened. I am going to help you. I am going to help you. I am going to make sure you get out.
Yeah.
I noticed that after Tracy Grayson took my case and I told him everything that happened, more charges were added to my case. More charges that I am completely innocent of. So they added that there were criminal threats. They said that I had said, I will burn this motherfucker down and kill you bitches.
Oh my God.
And during this time, I didn't really know a lot about cursing or curse words. So I didn't say anything about killing anybody because there was a 911 recorded call, yeah? If anybody who is in America, who is in the law, like even if President Donald Trump is listening right now, the 911 call can be retrieved. And there is a specific part in the 911 call where the police was asking the supposed victims, what is she saying? In fact, during the incident, they record all the 911s in America.
Yeah.
So during the time that the incident was happening, the police was asking them, what is she saying?
Yeah.
Specifically, what is she saying? And they said, she's not saying anything, she's just crying. If I was saying I will kill you, that was the time you should have told the police that she's saying she will kill us.
Yeah.
And then after the 911 calls, the police came to take a report. Again, in the police report, nowhere
Nothing like
did
that
they
was
mention that I said I was going to kill them. After the police, there was a fire investigation report because, this was an arson case.
Yeah.
So the fire investigators also spoke to them and they never mentioned anywhere that I said I was going to kill them. So this was being added in order to get the conviction of the arson because there was no proof of intention to kill.
Yeah.
So they brought up these two false charges to get that original conviction so that I can seem like a real criminal, so that they can forget about what was done to me, the violation that was done to me. And that is one thing I want to teach.
It's illegal.
Yes. I want to teach like anybody, especially if you're living in the West, the laws are usually very much twisted towards anybody who is black. Yeah? If you're an African American, you don't get the same justice as a white person. But if you're an African immigrant, it's even worse. It's even 1 million times worse than if you are anybody else. They will take something small and they will blow it completely out of proportion to paint you like you're a monster, like you're a terrorist. I felt many times like I was being treated worse than Osama bin Laden by the American injustice system. So as I continued with this man, Tracy Grayson, who was supposedly from Ghana, I noticed that all he did every time I went to court, he would just postpone the case. He would say, come back next month. And then I go next month and come back next month. In America, they have something called the statute limit.
Yeah.
And if you are accused of a crime, you have a right to go to trial within 12 months.
Yeah.
My case was going on for 18 months before trial. I mean, unless it is a murder case. Unless you kill somebody, then there is no statute limit. But any other charge is 12 months. So my case was going on and on and on. It just kept postponing. Come back the next day. And then I realized also that our African embassies are so fake when you are in trouble overseas. They only want you when you are winning the medal, when you are running, when you are accomplishing big things. But the moment you get in any trouble, the African embassies, they will run away from you. Literally, I would call the Kenyan embassy several times a day. And each time they picked up the phone, they would be like, call tomorrow, call us next week. The consul is not here. And I kept calling and calling and calling and calling because I had no visitor. Nobody was coming to visit me. I was in jail. I had no hygiene. They give you like those tiny soaps for the hotels, and you're supposed to last with it for a whole week.
Oh my God.
Yeah, those tiny toothpaste that you get in a hotel, and you're supposed to last with it for a whole week or even 2 weeks. So no hygiene, no snack, you eat like at 3 until tomorrow. And the food is really bad. Like literally we ate bologna every day. So bologna, for those who don't know, is this meat that is round. It tastes so horrible.
Yeah.
It's like processed meat. It tastes so bad. So we had bologna. When you are very lucky, you have peanut butter. And it was so difficult for me, especially not having anybody from my country, not having any Kenyan by my side, not having anybody coming to court, not having anybody, fighting for me. At one point, I decided to write a letter to Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga, who was then the Prime Minister of Kenya. I wrote a letter, just said, to Prime Minister Raila Amolo Odinga, Parliament Road, Nairobi, and I explained my whole story, and I sent the mail out, and I forgot about it. Meanwhile, after writing the letter inside the jail, it was really horrible conditions living in the jail. One incident happened where I was taken to the hall, somewhere called the hall, and I was taken to the hall because of a bed sheet. Yeah, my bankmate had not turned her bed sheet to be washed. In the jail, they wash these bed sheets with the laundry machine, and then they give you randomly. So somebody, when you get a new bed sheet, you want to wash it by yourself so you don't get a very old one. So my bankmate had not turned a bed sheet, and at one time I was taken to the hall, and in the hall, oh gosh, I almost got killed in the exact same style of George Floyd. And I almost got killed by black men because they kicked me a lot with their boots. They stepped on me, over me, like right here.
Police officers?
Yes, black police officers, black Americans.
Yeah.
They stepped over me like on my shoulders over here. And I just remember that I couldn't breathe at all. I was just maybe seconds away from that. I was like, I couldn't breathe. I couldn't breathe, and at one point...
Just because your roommate did not...
My roommate, the whole story, my roommate did not turn her bed sheet for laundry. So the officer had put both of us to be punished for 24 hours lockdown. So I was asking, why are you punishing me?
Yeah.
I turned up my bed sheet to be washed. Why are you not punishing only her?
Yeah.
What did I do wrong? And then she was like, you fucking bitch, you are a fucking monkey. Go chase the monkeys in Africa anyways.
Oh my God.
So that is the time I also told her, you are such an ugly bitch. So it was because I called her ugly bitch. So the hall is a very dark place inside Los Angeles County Jail. It's a very dark place. And that is where they do a lot of evil because there is no CCTV over there. So the police beat me, they kicked me, they were stepping on my chest. I couldn't breathe at all. And I think one of them realized that I was dying. And he told the officer who was like, his shoes was on my back like this, right here on the chest. So he told the officer to pull out the shoes. And after that, I couldn't I couldn't move. And they dragged me on the stairs to another room that was full of human feces.
Oh my God.
Yes, poop. I mean poop. So in jail, they have a lot of...
And this is America?
Yes.
Jeez.
In American jail, they have a lot of inmates that are mentally ill. And these inmates who are mentally ill, they poop in the cell and then they take the wet poop and they smear it on the walls.
Ooh,
Yes.
Jesus.
They smear it on the floor, they smear it on the walls because they are crazy.
Yeah.
So they took me in a room with fresh poop that somebody had smeared all over the door, all over the floor. They dragged me on the stairs and they locked me in there. So it was just smelling so bad. And that was not enough. They decided to torture me even more, and they were like, put her on the chair. Now they were threatening me that they're gonna electrocute me.
Jesus.
Yes. They were saying, put her on the chair. Electrocute her. And that time I was crying. I was begging. I was like, please don't kill me. Please don't kill me. I want to see my family one more time. Please, I don't want to die. I want to see my family. Take me to Kenya. Please don't kill me. They were like, electrocute her. Turn on the chair. They were enjoying it and they were laughing and making fun of me. And after that, they called the doctor. And they told the doctor that I was trying to commit suicide.
Jesus.
Do you really see America, how things work?
They lied.
They lied. Now they have tried to kill me. And now they are saying I tried to commit suicide.
So that maybe if you die,
it will be suicide and not murder.
Yeah.
Right. So they called the doctors and they said she has just tried to commit suicide. I was shocked. So then I was moved again from the room that is full of human feces to somewhere called Suicide Watch. Now in Suicide Watch, they have to strip you all the way naked, because if you have any clothes, you can use the clothes to hang yourself.
Yeah.
I was there for 24 hours naked, and then they gave me a very big green gown that is sleeveless. It's so thick green gown after 24 hours. And now when they gave me the green gown, like my head was going crazy, but I really think like God was really with me, because it is during this time that I began to write songs. And I remember just singing, huwezi kufa moyo, huwezi kufa moyo. You cannot lose heart.
Yeah.
So I was singing and screaming at the top of my voice, and they were saying, that one is really crazy, that one is kukulu, like she's gone.
Yeah.
They call it 50-50 or whatever. I'm kind of forgetting, but yes, the 51-50. They call it 51-50. So they were saying, and I was singing in Swahili and I didn't care. But after that torture, they took me to another place for housing with another bankmate. And then one day, I was called by the captain of the jail. You know, since I had been arrested, it was now about 6 months down the line.
Yeah.
And all I had seen in the American jail was hate, racism, like from the police, discrimination.
Violence.
Yeah. This day, the captain called me and he was like, how are you? Are you Marceline? I was like, why do you care? Mm-hmm. Yeah, why are you pretending to be nice? Are you okay? Are you getting food? Did you get your beddings? Did you get your socks? I was like, what the heck? You know, I couldn't understand. Why do you care? Like all of a sudden.
Yeah.
And I told him, I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm okay. And he's like, I want to take you somewhere. I was like, what? I didn't know that the Prime Minister of Kenya had received my letter.
Oh.
Yes. And decided to act on it. And for this, I always want to say thank you so much to Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga, because that was the only day that I was treated like a human being in jail. Mm-hmm. So I was taken to visiting room for the first time, and I met Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga's sister. Like, he literally sent his own blood sister to come and visit me in the jail.
From Kenya?
No, she was a consular in LA.
Okay, all right.
Yeah,
all right.
where I had been calling and calling and calling.
And they would not help.
They would not help.
Yeah.
So when she saw me, she was like, how long have you been here? I was like, over 6 months. Like, how come I didn't hear? Nobody told me.
Jesus.
So she told me it was the Kikuyus. I'm just saying,
yeah.
She said the secretary they are Kikuyus and they don't like me to help Luo people. We visited a lot of Kikuyus that are here in jail. Nobody ever told me about your case. And I'm just hearing it for the first time from my brother. He got your letter, he read it, he's very disturbed by it, and he wanted me to help you. And she asked, how can I help you? And I told her that the first thing that I would like to help me with, I would like you to help me with is help me find a lawyer. Help me find a lawyer, like a real lawyer.
Yeah.
Because the public defender that I have is not even doing anything at all to help my situation. And she promised that she would help me get a lawyer. And I told her the second thing I want help with is to put some money on my books so that I can buy some hygiene and some snacks. She put $100 on my book. Like $100 in jail is like $1 million. And then I told her I also wanted to send some Kenyans to come to court so that I am not alone every time they are reading my case. She promised to work on that. She's the lady who came back after, I think, a week or two, and she told me that she had found a lawyer, a good lawyer, who was going to take over my case in the next hearing. And she told me that she found Kenyans that were going to come to be
support you
in court.
Yeah.
And she also put another $100 on my books. So that was really nice. I was so happy and so hopeful, and I felt like finally I'm getting released.
Yeah.
I'm getting released. So the next court date, when I went to court, when I went to court, I met with Tracy Grayson. Tracy Grayson is the man who had my case, the Black American lawyer. And I asked him, why did you lie to me? You are from Ghana. Because the lady, the consular, the prime minister's sister, told me that the man was not from Ghana, he was African American. And you know what Tracy Grayson said? He said, I am declaring you mentally incompetent to stand trial.
Jesus.
That was his answer. So, you know, in America, normally when you go in court, they call your name. This is the name of the people versus Marcelino Nyango, case number, blah, 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 blah. The defendant is present in court. That day, there were Kenyans. I can say maybe 30 to 50 Kenyans in court. The court was full with Kenyans that had come to support me. As I entered the courtroom, they did not even read my case. I just came in and they said, this defendant has been declared mentally incompetent to stand trial. The case is postponed for 90 days.
Jesus.
To even get how Americans play. Yes, 90 days mean I'm going back to jail for 90 days. And they are not giving the new lawyer a chance to take over my case.
Yeah.
So at this time, I flipped. I went crazy. I began crying. I began screaming. I was like, no, this is not fair. That day, even an American police officer cried on my behalf. And the police officer was being told to escort me out of jail and he was out of court because I was crying. I was crying so helplessly and so desperately. And they were telling him to get me out of court, but it's like he didn't want to. But he did because it is his job, and he was telling me, Ma'am, these people are violating your rights. I don't like how they are treating you. A judge cannot declare you incompetent, neither can a lawyer. It is only a doctor who can say you are incompetent.
Yeah, like psychiatrists.
Yes, like a psychiatrist. The judge doesn't have the power to say you are incompetent. So she's like, they are violating your rights. They are not treating you right. Even he shed tears. I cried so much on that day. I cried so much. But I didn't know that this was all supposed to be a game. The moment that I was crying in court, I was actually proving that I am actually indeed incompetent to them. So
you are mentally incompetent. Oh my God.
So Tracy Grayson talked to the new lawyer that was supposed to take over my case, and he told the new lawyer, see how she's screaming?
This
I
is
told
what
you.
I would say.
Yeah, she's crazy.